To offer some perspective on the Trump order and what it could mean, Lee Gelernt, he's the deputy director of the ACLU Immigrants' Rights Project and a friend of Top Story. And Michelle Canero is an immigration attorney based in South Florida. We thank you both for being here. So, Lee, explain this to our viewers. What, in your opinion, does the Trump administration have wrong here?
Yeah, well, so the 14th Amendment is very clear, and it says if you're born on U.S. soil, you are a citizen. That's always been the understanding, and the Supreme Court made that absolutely clear in the case you just talked about. But not only that, but Congress then went ahead and passed a statute in 1940 and passed it again in 1952 with that understanding. So it's both the order violates the Constitution very clearly, violates a Supreme Court precedent, and violates a statute that Congress has enacted.
But the Trump administration is saying, listen, this historic case, those Chinese nationals actually, they were legal. Their status was legal here in the U.S. when they had that child. What Trump is trying to say, President Trump, according to him, is that people who are undocumented, who are here illegally, if they give birth to a child here, they cannot be a U.S. citizen. Are they wrong on the law?
They are wrong on the law. The Supreme Court did not so limit the decision. The Supreme Court made very clear that anybody, regardless of status, born on U.S. soil, that's always been the understanding. That's been the Justice Department's consistent understanding up till now. This is something that is.
And we're talking for about more than 100 years.
Exactly.
Okay. Michelle, you're an immigration attorney, right? You see cases like this all the time. You deal with these families all the time. You've looked through the executive order. What are some people getting wrong, in your opinion?
Well, I think there's a lot of misinformation about there that this only applies to the children of undocumented individuals. What's really striking is that, as you pointed out, he's claiming that even the children of people who are here lawfully are not considered citizens. And, you know, that raises a bunch of questions. You know, what if they're born here to lawfully present individuals who are here on work visas, who are here as students, who are here even with approved asylum applications, TPS, parole? What is their status? Because they're not conferred a status when they're born, right? So it's really concerning that this isn't just about undocumented individuals. This is also about people who are here legally and have a presumption that if they're present here legally, they're children born on U.S. soil or U.S. citizens.
Michelle, where do you see the courts sort of looking at the case that you're talking about right now, that aspect of it?
I mean, I think the ACLU is correct in that, you know, the Constitution is clear, and we've had Supreme Court decisions on this issue, that anybody who's born on U.S. soil is subject to the jurisdiction thereof and therefore is a U.S. citizen. And I think they're toying with that language is a little bit ironic because they want jurisdiction over these individuals to arrest them and tax them and deport them, but now, you know, not to come for constitutional rights. It's interesting.
Lee, your case is not alone, right? We mentioned this at the top of the broadcast here. There's also 23 cases filed by Democratic state AGs and cities trying to block this order. If one of those makes it up to the Supreme Court, would this become a major questions case, right? The Trump order cites a law that mirrors the 14th Amendment in text. Where does it go from there?
Yeah, I think we're going to be hopeful that the Supreme Court's going to do the right thing and adhere to its
you have
precedent.
A conservative majority. You have a Republican House and Senate. Are you worried at all about that
we do.
fight?
I mean, you know, look, I'm never going to say 100% we're going to ever win any case, but I think we are on as strong ground as we possibly can in light of that old Supreme Court case, in light of the consistent interpretation by DOJ. And, you know, and as you pointed out, it's not just the birthright citizenship stuff that's going on. It's a whole slew of executive orders. Asylum has now been ended completely. They got rid of the Family Separation Task Force, and you've been covering that for as long as we had that suit going. I mean, there's just multiple things going on.
Michelle, on that issue that the Supreme Court is a majority conservative now, you have both the House and Senate in Republican control. Does that concern someone like you or someone who's looked at this executive order and you feel it's not lawful? Could Trump win this? I mean, I'm sure he had lawyers who agree with him, obviously, who put this together.
I mean, as an individual, I'm concerned. There's uncertainty there, right? I went to law school. I believe in the rule of law, but sometimes it feels a little more shaky nowadays. So I don't know. I agree. I hope that the Supreme Court does the right thing and that we abide by the laws of the land.
Lee, walk us through the timeline. It's going to take effect in 30 days. It's been challenged. So what does that mean?
So we're moving very quickly for a preliminary injunction, and I hope that we are going to get an injunction before the law takes effect, because the last thing we want is for babies to be born on the soil and not be considered citizens, not
to have any country.
Right, and not have the benefit of certain medical need, treatment, that kind of stuff that they need. So I mean, hopeful we'll get something before then, but if not, soon thereafter.
Okay, Lee Gelernt, we thank you so much for being here. Michelle as well, Canero, we thank you so much for joining us from South Florida.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.